any of those people when I got there. So I was there and I was shaking hands with everybody. Now I recognize them. I'm like, oh, how you doing? But they were like, it's craziness. So as soon as we got to his place, they did what you get all the time there and showed honor for what apparently is, I don't feel special, but so you're wearing these flowers. I mean, it's just, they're strung up together. They weigh about, I don't know, it feels like 20 pounds, but it's not that much. But they're really, they're all wet. So they must have been picked that day. They make them into these things. They're quite expensive. So you know Tyler, Michelle, this guy. And then this is a lady who came with us that we never met before. And she's in some way, but since nobody knows her. Her name's Vicki.
From lacrosse.
From lacrosse? I thought she was from Northland there.
Somewhere around.
Somewhere around lacrosse area, New Richmond. And that was that day. Then we slept. Carefully too. All right, so I made a short video. I don't remember how long it is, of Raj's place, where we got to stay. This is the first time he's done that, where we got there, and instead of staying at this fancy hotel, which wasn't that much money, but still fancy hotel, he actually got a different place to live where there's a little bit more room, so that when he brings people like us there, then we can stay with them. And it's more convenient. We're not too far from the children's home, and we can not spend so much time in the car driving just to get picked up. This is new. We didn't have those the day before. They were like brand new that day or the day.
Tyler and Michelle's room. There's Tyler. No, just bathroom. Well, this Michelle. She's not bathroom. And guest room. Kitchen area. No oven. They think microwave oven is the oven. All the cooking's done right there. Porch. Construction. Laundry. Hello. Alright. Where you brush your teeth and do laundry. And I don't know what direction this is. New building, doesn't look new. Very good. Just making a video.
I didn't know it was being recorded. I didn't know I was going to show this, so well, I did. But I didn't. Yeah, the house, you're standing on this balcony, is like third floor or so. And you look out and there's this new building going up there that you saw that has 500 families going in it. So like the first layer or two is all parking. And it's mostly not going to be cars, it's going to be little motorcycles that are going to be parked in there for all those families. And there's a building right next to it that's also being built, but it's not quite as big. The one, that the 500 family thing is it's the largest building in the area. The most number of floors, largest, it's big compared to everything around it. So we got there, they made us, well, we got to eat some Indian food, which was nice. Oh, come on, that's funny.
You had that for breakfast.
Yeah. And the Domino's pizza does not taste like your Domino's pizza. I think it's all made with goat cheese, I think. And you can get some spicy stuff there, even on your pizza. Yeah. And none of their soft drinks have high fructose corn syrup. They're all straight sugar. Just refreshing change. You get your bowl of fruits. There's always one of those on the table, grab something, eat it. Pomegranates on the bottom. Apples that taste like, okay. Yeah, that tastes like cardboard. We have apples. We have tons of apples. They're wonderful. They have two. They have a green apple and a red apple. And I mean, in the northern state of where they're at, they grow lots of apples, but apparently it's not something they're familiar with or eat. So they have mangoes. They're like, I don't remember, it was 15 or 20 varieties of mangoes? 50, I don't know. There's a lot of, we have 2 varieties of mangoes. They got mangoes that you mush up and you squish in your mouth. They all kinds of mangoes, but no apples. So, who knew? Oh, that night, we went to, that's our first night of meetings. We rested all day. They said, take rest. And tonight we go to meetings. So after supper, that must have been Tyler getting his first.
Timothy translated for me.
Oh, did Timothy translate it? He never translated for me. We didn't get to go out much. We were in his troubles. So. Or together. Let's show. That must have been one you guys
We
read.
went to different places.
Yeah, we all went different places. We mostly all went different places for that first week. So Tyler and Michelle went one place, I went with Vicky another place, and all of these, those guys are pros. I got back from that, and the first time I heard Tyler speak and Michelle, I didn't hear Michelle speak, but I'm like, all right, what kind of upside down world are we in where Tyler and Michelle are the rock stars, and then I'm out here trying not to, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm not a rock star here either, I get that. But, you know, it was just crazy. And then that night, every night we were going someplace. I don't even know why I asked where we're going, because I have no idea. The answer is always the same. We're going to the end of the earth. And I didn't know if that was a reference to the Great Commission, or I think he said we were going. And we were out in the middle of rice paddies, and so we get done speaking. I got done speaking that night. I don't know what you guys did. But, they bring in bananas, and I'm like, I'd never eaten anything except for at the house before. We didn't have Domino's that night. They actually made us baby food. But, no, literally, they made us baby food. They fed us the stuff that they would feed babies before babies could eat things that are spicy. And they didn't really want to tell me that. But once I got her to explain to me, what are we eating here, So people kind of look at you funny when you're eating that. The guys from India would, because they knew what you're eating and you didn't know. Did you eat baby food? But I remember getting little tiny bananas that night. I'm like, Raj, are these things safe? He's like, yeah, brother, eat them. And I guess you're trying not to touch the outside. You want to peel the banana and only eat the inside, because you might get contaminated with what you're touching on the outside. But so it was learning. But the little tiny bananas, I guess they sell the good bananas, so somebody pays money for them and gives them to us. Okay, Tuesday, day 4. Oh, this is a good day. Thursday, yes. Housewarming. And somebody here is going to notice somebody that they have met before.
Prasanna!
Yeah, see, right here. She's a happy lady, happy young lady.
I connect with her. Yeah.
Yes. So it's a good time. There was it's a new house, and they bring celebrities in like Tyler and Michelle, and they have them cut ribbons, and they, prayers for the house and the family. And there's a big party. There's really great smelling food that we didn't get to eat outside. Apparently if we ate it, we would die. But it smelled really good, This is on the roof. They had a get together with a nice tent, and that guy there showed up, and he was wearing a helmet on his motorcycle, which is abnormal, but cool. He could really sing, too. And Tyler spoke that day. I was still observing, trying to learn, get my feet there. This is kind of a view from outside of the place next door. The place has like 2 stories, plus you could go up the roof for parties. Yeah. Well, this is another view of upstairs. They put it on order. So yeah, they make us sit up in front, always looking at us. And there's Nehu translating, right? Ah, and then we have Tyler, who...
Oh, you didn't show this.
Tyler was missing in the United States, and we were giving us Sprite to drink. So Tyler decided, well, I've got these things for water that makes the water taste good called Orange Crush. So he said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and put it with my Sprite so I can have Orange Crush soda.
And the bottle was full.
And the bottle was full when he started, but it started going all over the place. He thought, maybe what I'll do is I'll just keep making a mess on the floor and I'll just put it in my mouth and drink it. Don't ever do that. It comes out in places you don't want to talk about. So we're having lunch, and after lunch, the women, or everybody starts coming in for prayers. It's like 90 degrees. This kid has a stocking cap on. And that's pretty normal, because it's cold at that point for them. You don't want to get your kids sick, being out in the cold. Or 90. So, let's see. This is pretty much the common posture you take. It's lots of prayers. It's just, you never pray for so many people as you do. On the way back from that, I absolutely think he figured this out to do this while we were there. We stopped at this church. No idea what kind of church it was. I mean, it was a building, a bunch of people in it, a little church. These kids skipped school. They left school early, and they call it bunking. So they bunked school to come to this and hear Tyler speak. I spoke for like a minute. Tyler spoke for, I don't know, a lot longer. It was good. It was good. And, yeah, these guys were great. But I learned this before, but I just forgot to bring it up till now. They know everybody's got a cell phone there. They don't speak much English, although these guys in school, they only can speak English in school, so you gotta give them that. And they only can write English in school. But the word you hear most often is selfie. So the first night we were there, selfie, I mean, and they're always just one selfie, just one, and it's like 6 later, you're like, oh dude, come on. And I just remember these guys, especially this one. And he had a really great personality, you know. And when he was talking with you, you could understand, you know. It was good times. So that night, yeah. So we went to the housewarming, went there on the way back, and then that same night, Raja and I went out for my second meeting. So it's just a super full day. I mean, this is like, I don't know, we don't get back until 11:30 normally, or, you know, 11:30, see? Did you go out that night too, to a place?
We took rest.
You took rest. Nice. That was a pretty fun place. I mean, it's just, yeah. Good times. Local preacher for the congregation there that we were at. I don't know, a lot of times you can't get pictures of people smiling, even though they're always smiling, but you bring the camera out and they don't stop, they stop smiling. We have a lot of pictures of Indian people smiling. I mean, they're not smiling big, but you can tell that, you know, just look in your eyes and it's just, you know, yeah. Pretty good. It's not a huge place. You can see the number of people, and you're sitting as close as you can to each other. And then you got, you know, a row of chairs, but they're still sitting as close as they can to each other too. So I don't know how many people show up for something like that, but of course that's like half, and there's always that aisle down the middle, and just kind of form roughly. So that's what day was that? That was Thursday. So now we're getting on to Friday and Saturday of the first week that we were there, which is Ladies' Day and Preacher School Day. So the Ladies' Day we got pictures of first, so I don't have any, you can talk about that if you have anything to say. This is outside of the children's home. So you're sitting at the orphanage is here. And you can kind of, must have been up on like the second level or maybe up on just the driveway looking down into the little valley. He doesn't own this land, but he just uses it. So
They are running out of land around there. The other place where they had the tent, there's a building going up there now, so they can't put the tent there.
he doesn't, he's got as much land as like the place is sitting on.
Yeah.
But that's about it. So technically somebody could come and buy, or at some point somebody will come and buy all the land around the place, and it'll be very tight. But until then, he's trying to figure out how he can buy the land so he can have this next door and, you know, have more room and expand the orphanage. But it's very expensive land. He said if I owned as much land as I do in Wisconsin there, I would be the richest guy in the town.
So there were about 150 ladies that showed up, and it was so hot there, and they didn't have a fan out there, and they ran an electrical wire out there for us to have a fan.
They ran electrical wire, but it was scary. It's like
Yeah.
you got one wire and another wire, and you shove it into your outlet, and then you run it about 500-600 feet or so. Yeah, to run a fan.
Well, and then they plugged the speaker system.
Oh yeah, so you plug the speaker system, and there's always a speaker system. You get used to that, and it's not. I don't know. It's not horrible. I was explained that Indian people just talk loud. They talk very loud. This is Kumari and Michelle, of course. And a lot of people showed up, must have rented one of those for a day, or maybe they own it, I have no idea. But there was a lot of those parked outside.
Sometimes you find anywhere from 8 to 10 people present in one of those little things.
Oh yeah, if you're not loaded up totally, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, right? So if your motorcycle has less than 4 people on it, there's something wrong with you. I mean, because you're wasting it, like, fuel and space and. But people have Bibles, and they read them. The ladies there are not uneducated or dumb. I mean, they know their scriptures. And a lot memorized, yeah, that's for sure. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you get both, it's like, I'm not sure, and man, I'm really listening. And,
So this is like 9 or 10 in the morning, and a lot of them traveled 3 hours plus to get there.
you guys hear that? Yeah, I mean, and that was 2 days. So we did that the first day, and then what time do you guys get done? About lunchtime, 1 o'clock? And so then they go home, take care of their families, come back the next day, and do Saturday, Friday, and Saturday, do the same thing. So I don't have different pictures for both days. You have to look at what she's wearing, what Michelle's wearing, to figure out.
What was the subject, Michelle?
I did one day on why are you here, and one day on, I can't remember right now.
Sorry to put you on the spot there.
This is the second day. So the first day was why are you here, and the second day it was on.
While she's figuring that out, just remember, there's a huge picture of yourself right behind there. And it's a great picture.
But I'm wearing the same outfit. I did that intentionally the second day.
Yeah, I just sent pictures before you got there, just so you could take a picture when you got there with a cell phone to blow it up. Yeah. I don't know, talking, interpreter.
The voice of Jesus.
The voice of Jesus. There's Vicky. Oh, here's one. They get one of the kids from the orphanage to come out and give the lady some water to drink. Michelle, would you like to demonstrate for us? I'm just kidding.
I can't, but I don't have water.
It's not pretty. It's not pretty when Americans do this. They take a glass, a cup, and they pass it around, and everybody drinks from it.
She's doing it on the screen.
Where's she at? Right there. Okay. But the cup never touches your lips. It's, you pour it into your mouth. And you'll notice when they're drinking, you can pour it in your mouth and they'll swallow it while you're drinking. And, hey, it works, right?
That's why they pass it around.
Yeah, they-
Not actually touch it.
Right, yeah, you can pass it around because you're not actually touching it. And then also, they do it with coffee. So it's super hot coffee.
Like boiling.
Yeah, and you're going to drink it right from there. Excuse me, you got to talk about the next one. We'll go do something inside the windows. That's that guy. There, you can talk about that first. That's, oh, you got to push the red button. There, okay. That's fine.
That's Rodney's brother. He does a lot of interpretation for us.
And he's wearing socks, black socks, which is cool. That's why I'm wearing black socks today, because I want to be just like Bond. And you aren't supposed to preach or be in the building with shoes on. He's like the only dude that's an Indian guy and wears shoes. I mean, and wears socks. Everybody wears sandals. But yeah, well, thanks for that. That's filling me in. No, there's Raja, Tyler, let's like the pictures. So there's Tyler addressing the preachers. Now this is going on at the same time that the ladies' class was going on outside. So yeah, we have lots of, oh, so only ceiling fans. Every building's got good ceiling fans, although this one's not running and that one is, but whatever. That room was full. I mean, there's a lot of people in there. Look at it from the front here. Okay, so if you have a scripture that's going to be read, somebody's going to stand up and read it from the group, generally, when you have something like this. But I don't know how many people are in there. It's a pretty good sized room, and you're packing it in. A little bit intimidating, of course, and you don't know who you're talking to. But come to find out over the next days, you'll start seeing some of the same people from the same group as we're going out to these different churches. And they're not Church of Christ preachers, a lot of them. They're churches from other churches. So what you've got going on here is Raja, I mean, this is not the preacher's school only, this is a preacher's school, special day. We got a special teacher, Tyler, coming in. Come on over, you know, and they came from lots of times an hour and a half or more away just to hear what's going to be said. So, and then we get to Sunday. Sunday, that was a bit different. I went over to Holy Man's church. Now, they call him Holy Man because that's what his name means. I have no idea what his name actually is. So, it doesn't matter. I can't remember it this way. I can remember some names, but I can't remember his. And he doesn't care. I mean, he doesn't speak English either. So, this is the back of his head. He answers to Holy Man. Yeah, that's true. That's what I was introduced to him as. All right. So this is his little church. Girls are sitting here, young ladies. Men are sitting here. This was really early. So what happens is, the praise team is up in front. I call it the praise team. We'll make it. It's fun. You'll hear it. I'll share. I'll share it. So this guy and this guy are singing. Everybody's singing along. But the reason they're up in front is they got the microphones. And on top of the roof, there are these big, big speakers so that everybody in the village can hear. That's fun. Yeah, we'll listen to it. See what you think. Alright, so, yeah, I didn't record the whole song. It's pretty long. And, yeah, go on.
What's interesting is being a music teacher and going over there, and we're used to do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. They have what's called a pentatonic scale. They only use 5 notes for everything. And so when we're trying to teach them a song using 8 notes, and they have 5
Yeah,
notes.
it's
It was
tough.
very interesting with the
Although,
children.
the preacher school, when we were talking before those guys, they were singing some songs. They were really good, actually. I mean, so sometimes you never know. Although if you ever go to a preacher's retreat or something like that, those guys always sing, so I'm not really surprised. After worship, we were supposed to head right back to the house where they were having house church at Raja's house across the way in an empty apartment. But we got snagged because there was a new house going up next door, and they wanted us to do a house opening. We don't have a lot of good pictures of that. I just have the one, although I know there were some taken. But yeah, everything's concrete there. If you're going to get into something, don't get into wood. Get into concrete because it's and granite. Well, granite's cheap.
Your fence posts are made out of granite.
Yeah. Granite is so cheap. The fence posts are made out of granite. I mean, in the house where Raja lives, the steps are granite, the door frames are granite, everything's granite. And apparently it's cheap, and just everybody's got some. This is house church. Oh, yeah, thank you. It says a nice picture. Michelle was busy doing something, which is why we got the nice picture. She was handing out something. So everybody starts displaying something. You all know what these are?
Yep.
Little
For photo.
There you go. So yeah, it was a good time. Sunday afternoon we took rest. I don't think we did anything that night except for Timothy took Tyler and I to the grocery store. And Timothy gave me some instruction. I'm like, hey, this is an interesting grocery store. It's a little bit cramped, but there's a lot of the same foods. You mind if you think it'd be a problem if I took a couple pictures? He says, no problem, brother. Uncle. Yes, I'm uncle now. Yeah, that's the security guard who's getting very, very upset with me that I'm taking this picture. So the correct answer, I just went instinct on this. It's like, okay, and I shoved the phone in my pocket and walked off. We went to the back corner, and Timothy was so scared out of his wits here. I mean, he was just like, oh no, because he didn't want to get me in trouble, but he definitely got me in trouble.
You didn't have your passport.
Oh yeah, and I forgot my passport. You're not supposed to leave home without it. And I've never, it was like, I didn't. And I got there, and I'm like, I don't have my passport. And that's bad. And this is just at the end of their street, if you could call it a street. Oh, yeah, you don't go down it fast, by any means. What else happened there? There was craziness. Oh, the security guard. So when you go there, you know how our checkouts are. You go to the grocery store, you check out, you walk out. So they got a similar thing. They got the checkout, you got the place where you stand, but as soon as you get done checking out, you can go anywhere you want. You don't go to the end and walk to the door, because it doesn't matter. When you go to the door, you have to get your receipt out, and the guy checks everything in your bag to make sure you didn't steal anything. So you can go and be there all you want, as long as everything that's in your bag is in your receipt. You're good, because apparently there's a little bit of a theft problem going on.
Yeah, great.
We had dragon fruit that day. It wasn't good.
Really?
Well, talking about thievery now. Next day, Monday, we were on our way to the next place, and we see this large field of chilies. and my elder in the car says, you know what? I really want one of those. So we pull the car over, and he gets out to steal one from the field. And like, we're just on this random field, and we run down there, pick some up, and go get it. Fine. Except that there was a guy in a motorcycle in front of us that owned the field. What's the probability of that being the thing, right? And there was a guy with another guy on a motorcycle, whatever. So they stopped, and Roger gets out, and they're talking, and Tyler, yeah, I implicated you. Tyler got out, got in, and he shows these two to that guy, and the guy's laughing, and he's like, eat them. He says, I dare you, you'll die. Yeah, death by chili pepper. And Raja thought it'd be fun if, he rubbed his eyes or whatever. Same trip, a little bit down the road, we stopped to get some fruit, and Raja gets a coconut. And he takes this coconut, we've got this on video somewhere, we're not showing this one. And he takes the coconut, and he chops the top off, and he's like, here, brother. And he wants me to drink this thing. And I'm like, it's a big round thing, unevenly cut with a hole in the middle. I mean, you can't pour it. I'm like, how do you drink that? So he's like, here. And he shows me. He takes and shoves it against his face, throws his head back, never makes a mess, empties the thing. Okay, fine. Like, I still don't want to try, but he gets another one, chops the top off, and he says, come on. So I do that. But man, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm getting it all over myself. And I try once, and kind of gagging on it, and it doesn't taste good. It tastes like unripe fruit. So I'm like, dude, it wasn't good. And it was unripe coconut. I don't know why they drink it. So we got to where we're going, and we dropped the women off for a meeting by themselves. And then Tyler and I went, what day is this again? This is Monday? We went to another church where I spoke, Raja translated. That girl was funny. And that kid there, he was sleeping on the floor. The place kept filling up. It kept filling up, and the guy's like, everybody move up. So they're like, everybody move up. But the kid was dead asleep on the floor, so everybody just got up and moved over to the top of him. I'm like, where's that? There's a girl sleeping here. I'm not sure she was sleeping. She's blinking around. But yeah, I mean, it's just.
I always found it interesting how beautiful they had all their churches. And everyone is unique unto itself.
Yeah.
They like the tents.
Yeah,
Yes.
they do.
And there's Raja making his points. Well, the girl's really annoyed, but everybody else is really paying attention. She's like, what? So we're there, and we get from there, and we go back to pick up the ladies. And I'm wasn't here for this, you need to explain. But I think I know what's happening here. They got done speaking, and these are people waiting to be baptized. I recognize them from the pictures that are going to be seen next. But there's some guys in here who weren't part of the meeting, because this was a meeting for women. So they were, they were doing their thing, Kamari's translating, but they got the speakers on top of the roof like normal, so everybody can hear. And those guys were outside. They're like, hey, anybody want to be baptized? They're like, yeah, we're in. Okay. Are you going to say no? So yeah, we'll just go through these quickly. You got before and afters. One guys. Other guy. I think there was 14 baptisms that time right there. I didn't get everybody. Oh, I think I missed a picture there. This is where
Okay, the guy that is standing kind of next to Jason, clapping, after the first baptism, yeah, he started clapping and said, did he say hallelujah? Or something like that.
He said, let's rejoice, people, because everybody was like pretty mute,
And Jason's like, yeah! And so then everybody started clapping then after.
Yeah, we always did it at the wrong time, like Roger's praying or something. Thanks for bringing that up, Michelle. That guy was actually fun.
Yeah.
After he did selfies and stuff. Yeah. That's your camaraderie. So what happened then? Went to another place after that. Yeah, because we went, that was a crazy day. We dropped the women off, Tyler and I go one place, I speak, then we go pick the ladies up, a bunch of baptism, then we go to another place. Oh, that was the baptism, okay. Among those ladies, there was 3 Hindu ladies who, their Hindu names were tied to a Hindu god. So, as new creations, as Christians, as followers of Christ, they don't want to be called this Hindu god name. So, at their baptisms, they requested another name. So, the first one was named by Michelle, Elizabeth, and then the next lady was named by Vicky, and then the third lady asked me for a name, and I named her Naomi. So she was really nice. So I thought she was pleasant enough. That's fun, since we named me. All right, you got that. Yeah, we went to another place. No, that's the next day. We were 3 hours late. This was the same. This was the time that we went over and we'll see. And maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe I'll be corrected. This is where Tyler spoke. I don't think anybody else did here. They didn't have the fancy things to put on you when you got there, so you got them at the end. We normally give them at the beginning, but it doesn't matter. I don't care if we give them at all, but they feel very much they have to give them to you.
I think it was at this meeting where they brought the oil, they wanted you to anoint them with oil.
Did they?
Yeah.
That's a local preacher right there. I don't know.
I think it was at this.
I don't remember. But this building was, say, here, and then there was a person's house. Maybe it was the preacher's house.
Yeah.
It was just like a couple of doors down, not doors, a couple of walkways down, and then I don't have any pictures of that except for this one, which I'm sure you'll love. So, where it's a grass hut, and Kamari made us, potatoes and baby food or whatever. So. But boiled eggs, it's always boiled eggs, coffee. But I don't know, must have rested. Oh yeah, we rested that night. Yeah, because, I remember we rested. I didn't rest, I wrote a sermon, but it was a good one, maybe. February 12th, the Tuesday, we're getting pretty close. This is like day 9. We're only there for 13 days, so we're getting, to our last day. This day was every day was fun, but every day had its own special fun. This, I don't know. You tell me if he's got something here. We show up at this place. These aren't Church of Christ buildings. They're just, I don't know what groups they are, but they're fun. I mean, it's the gate of heaven. And then we've got, this place had a lot of verses on it. Tons of flower petals. This was like, you know, yeah, just like that. This one actually had a guardrail in front, so you don't fall off. It's kind of fun. These little girls were, everybody's fun. Outside, volleyball courts. Volleyball courts everywhere. I love volleyball. Timothy, Roger's son, I told him, volleyball's a girls' sport in the United States, so I don't know what you guys are doing. Outside of the building, well, lots of times, you got your big pot of rice, and that is a big pot of rice. You know, they're cooking up for everybody. This is just a picture to show you, you know, that's the outdoor speaker system, make sure everybody hears. So the women are in there doing a women's thing, and I didn't know while I was sitting there relaxing in the shade, I got the only shady seat, that this here is Raja planning our next meeting. And you know, apparently only, what the joke is when you're there, you might as well not even ask what you're going to do, but you do just for fun. Say, hey, what are we doing this afternoon? And the answer is somebody else. Only Raja knows. And I don't think he actually knows. I think he's just waiting to see what happens, and he puts everything out there. You don't have any good pictures of chickens, but this is an Indian chicken here. They're weird looking. Got a picture of a couple of my guys. Sankar, Chris Well. They're always there. They weren't bunking school. I mean, they go to school, but they didn't have school right now for whatever reason, so we got to hang out with them. They were always there protecting us. You know, the thing was, you know, Timothy was going to protect me with his life, but he was going to have to do it from college. So, and it would cost me. Yeah, it wasn't going to be free. What happened then? Oh, us guys went somewhere and talked for a little bit, and then Bonman was, and so that was it was kind of getting thrown together. So we got there, and the people were still showing up. You know, it was just starting to fill up the room. You know, it's like what you guys would do, right? I mean, it's a Thursday or whatever it is, Tuesday. I don't know, about 10 in the morning. So you get a call, you're at work, and the guy says, hey, there's these guys that are going to be preaching down over at the church. It's like, you leave where you're working, and you show up to hear these guys preach. I need to get to clean up first. Yeah, I mean, this is not what you're wearing when you're out in the field picking whatever you're picking or doing whatever you're doing. And the women show up, the guys show up. So yeah, Bondan's here. I was trying to figure out these numbers. That's not the songs. That is the date. Or someone, the date, I don't know, or when my songs was. Yeah, it would have been Sunday, right? So, really figuring out what we'll say. Because I got to talk for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or something. And then Tyler comes, gives the message. Yes, one of those impromptu meetings. Which was fun.
I didn't know I was talking to him.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was like, Tyler, you should get ready, you're talking. I mean, I don't know why I didn't tell him, but I guess he didn't get the memo.
Did you use the same material each time, or were you making new material because you had the same people coming from place to place?
That's a very good question. You want to answer it or you want me to? I'm going to answer it anyway. So, all right. If you've never been to India, this is the rules. Not rules, I don't know. Pete will tell you, Tyler will tell you, anybody will tell you, you don't know what you're going to talk about until you get there. And I didn't understand this. I figured it out before I got there. I didn't know who I was talking to. I just didn't know. I mean, of course they're people, but they're coming from a different background, you know? So this is Pete's thing, you know, so I show up there the first day. I had to prepare something before I came, and I tried as much as I could, but I didn't have much. And I gave that lesson. It was horrible. And then What I did figure out, and I didn't figure this out until later, that all the time I was there, I was talking to people, asking questions, trying to figure out who I was talking to, and then, like, we're going to go, and he's like, tonight we're talking to a mixed group. We got Hindus, Christians, and so. So I go, okay, what does that mean? So I would talk to Bondon, and like, what would you talk about? So he'd give me a list of different things, and something would stand out. I'm like, all right, I'm going to talk about that. So I would end up making a new lesson to give at that time. So one lesson I brought there, one I kind of reworked after I kind of figured out, and then a couple more I wrote while I was there, for sure. And yeah, I mean, you don't know why you're writing the ones you're writing for the people you're writing them to until you get there. And that's what happened on this day. The night before, I wrote a message for this day, and it was like the perfect message, but I'll get to that, I think.
And sometimes you give a message and you go someplace else and Roger or Kamari will say, please use this lesson. Because they know that audience, and so then people.
Yeah, if you've given one before, they may request that and say, you've given that, I want this one. This is what I want.
This is a good group for it.
Yeah, so and it's not just, and it is something that they like your message, but it's also they're going to springboard from that and give another message or extend the message. So when you get done giving your message, they may talk for 2 minutes or 20 minutes maybe, depending on the audience and the feedback, and you can see when you're talking, you get done. Lots of times Raja will take his microphone, he'll set it down, he'll lean forward, and he'll start talking to you. And he looks you in the eye, and he's like, it's just masterful. And I was told, Indian guys talk loud, but not him. Not at that point. He quiets down and gets, it lands that plane, so. And that's what Bondon's doing here. He had a nice, I don't even know what he's saying, but I got a video of it. I recorded it so somebody could translate it, but I never got around to it. I really wanted to know what he was talking about. But what he was doing is he's talking, and then he's reading and looking at the people, and he's like, anybody want to be baptized? And these ladies start standing up. Somebody raise their hand, sometimes depending on what the you get people standing up here and there, and then he'll talk to each person individually and say, and talk. I don't know what he's saying, but you can understand. It's like, well, what do you do you believe Jesus is the Son of God? And so we'll leave, and then they've got, the other preachers and stuff will follow up and finish up. So sometimes people will sit down. Maybe they'll be talking, asking questions, and they'll be like, but, yep. Well, there's a language over there that we don't really get. It's a real subtle thing. That means no, this means yes. It's just, we say things, we don't even know it. So it's more of the ladies standing up there. Some guys, you get it, but a lot of churches are just like they are here. More women than men, really. And there's a reason for that. Sort of we'll get to. This guy here, I remember him from the preacher school, that meeting we had on that Sunday. This is me leaning over and saying, hey, who is that guy in here? Are you letting him talk after we got done talking? Do you trust this guy? What's he saying to this group? I don't know. And he's like, he's good. We're good. Yeah, they put these, I didn't bring any of those. I was going to do that and I forgot.
You got a lot of those.
Yeah, you get a lot of those. I gave some to some, I gave them back to Raja, and he says, yeah, I'll give them away to poor people, like an old man, clothes to wear. So. This is the outside. That guy was happy. He's a local preacher there. And not a Church of Christ preacher guy, but he has a relationship with Raja, and he trusts him that he allows to come in there, will speak, and he's like just happy to have us there, and it's pretty special. Then we get back to picking up the ladies. So I can't remember her name. And then Tyler's getting something special. And then this guy. That's the preacher's wife?
That's
Mercy, right?
no.
That's David. No, David.
David is the husband.
Yeah.
Indira.
Indira, there you go. Yeah. Brave people.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, she got the whole baby. Yeah, it was
Usually they scream when they see
So like white guy. Oh. Yeah, happy. Very happy people. You know, you're just pictures with the baby. And then we went. Actually went. There's a room right here where the preacher lived, right? So we went in there and Tyler prayed for him. Fist bump? Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just, you know, more rice and stuff here. Big pot, everybody's eating. Just before we left there, somebody took some pictures about some of the, this was one of the few places that had translations for us. So that was,
There was one outside that had the quote from the Bible.
this was the Beatitudes blessings.
Yeah, it's, take off your sandal, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, because there's sandals all over the place. You go in someplace, you're kicking off your shoes on the way in. They were nice enough to tell, don't wear anything with laces. Bad time. Don't make it hard to get on your feet, for sure. Don't do that. Yeah, they'll laugh at you for taking the time to take your shoes off. They're like, yeah. This is, so we went from that place to this place. This place was a place that we weren't late, we were on time. They were expecting us 3 hours ago now. They were waiting for us for 3 hours. I wouldn't wait for me for 3 hours. And this lady here, she was awful happy to throw flowers at us. I mean, she's got a great big smile on her face. There you go, see? She was very pleasant. And then, like I say, you gotta keep your shoes off, but this is nothing. They're everywhere. Because they were waiting there for a long time. Everybody was in this place. It wasn't like we got there and it starts filling up. So, yeah, remember this place. I mean, there's like a door and people are, but these kids have been waiting. Young kids, they're getting ready. They were kind of rowdy. Yeah, this was what you were asking about the lessons. What was special here, I thought, was, you know, it was a message that I had written the night before. And so Tyler gets up, and we're trying to figure out who's going to go first. Bondon's translating, like, Tyler, go first. I don't know why. So Tyler goes first. I don't know what he's going to speak on, but it's like a perfect lesson before my lesson. It's like on the same subject, but not the same. It's like that one, and then this one goes on top of it. And it fits together very well. And I don't know. That's probably my favorite actual, you know, event, church thing where we're at there. So now we're really wrapping it up. Day 10, Tribal Village Day.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. We've got our trusty steed, our Mahandra 475. Yeah, this is the tractor with no clutch. So if you want to get that baby in gear, you just grind her in and you're good to go. I can't believe he did that. That was a nice tractor. But all day long. Apparently he's been doing it for a long time. These sticks proved to be a little bit troublesome getting through the village because they would hit on all the power lines, even though they're not that tall. Yeah, that's where we learned the meaning of the word right. Right when does not mean turn right, which we were like, I don't want to right here. And go, right means carry on, keep going. Because what they would do is take sticks and they would hold up the power lines and then say, right. And then the guy with the tractor would nail it and go to the next spot. So this is the people in the tractor. This is Indira, a person from the day before. There's a lot of ladies in here. You'll see them.
That's her husband.
This is her husband here. Right there, yeah. And,
And the doctor.
oh, the doctor? Yes, I don't do anything. But the group hires a doctor for the day, and we go out and visit these tribal villages, and it's the doctor's birthday.
We did the same thing last year. It was his birthday.
A little surprise, we're driving down the road, we see our big friendly communism, whatever you call it. Looked like a bomb, actually, when we were driving by it. Yeah, there's fighting there between the communists and the government, and you can get caught between them and get shot. We didn't see anything like that, but we did run into people who did. And that's the tribal village we were going to. The reason that they were there is because they got caught between the communists and the government, and they were supporting, if anything, supporting the communists, but not really, but they were friendly towards them. Some of the people got shot or killed, and so they ended up walking. They got up and walked 300 kilometers from where they were to this new location just to get away from that fighting. But Raja knows the communist guys. I guess they're good guys. They're for the people, so they don't have to worry about anything. Come to find out, this was not very far into our trip, but we had made a wrong turn already. Who knew? And we went the long way there. Not only the long way, the very dangerous way. And we got stuck a few times. This was a nice little river bed we were going down with the tractor. And to the other side, could not get back up. And the Hunter got stuck right there. So we had to unload everybody. They got there. Tyler decided to pick up some litter along the way. Alcohol is a real big deal over there.
Knockout beer.
Yeah, knockout beer. It is, just like they say, high punch, strong beer. And that's one of the problems. I mean, you got the women are out there in the fields. They're taking, and the reason that the women are in the field, they weren't used to be in the field so much, but the men go to work, come home and buy beer or alcohol, whatever kind of beer, whatever kind of alcohol they're drinking, and they'll give the money to the family. So then what's the wife have to do but to go to work to get a job so that the family has something to eat. This here is eucalyptus tree branches. We went through a couple of eucalyptus forests. They smell really great. Not really strong, nice and mellow. If you get one of those down here, it'll be really wonderful.
That's the doctor covering his eyes because the sunlight causes him to have photosensitivity, not have any good effect.
I just thought I was trying to say cool, which worked too.
Explained it later.
Yeah, so we ended up having to get out and walk up another valley. Tractor being stuck again. This is what they called it was a snake house. It looks like a big anthill, but big holes along the top, and we saw quite a few of these things. So once I got back, I was doing some research, and yes, there are snakes that live there, generally cobras, and quite cool. But they're not made by the snakes. What it is a big termite colony that comes in there and builds this big pile of termite, whatever, because it's always within a forest, a bunch of trees, and then when the termites leave, the snakes move in and make it their house. And that's where you get the big holes and stuff from. It's very scary to look at. There were some when they tried to dig them up, it's like 6 feet across, and it was down a few feet in the ground. There were still holes going. There were a lot of snakes in there, whenever there were snakes in there. And it's not far from like the village we were going to. It's like, here to that. Yeah, it's just, apparently what, a cobra snake house within a stone's throw? Not cool. It had been an actual pretty dense forest, and they started clearing off everything to turn their forest into cropland so they could generate some income as a village. And somebody said it was sad that they were ruining the forest, but it was kind of neat that they were taking so much energy to actually do that, turn it into, this is cotton, I believe. It was really sad looking cotton. And this is where we're getting there, start seeing some of their homes and such. I don't know what that is. This one was interesting. It's the only one with a solar panel on the roof in the tribal village. So, apparently they get it done sometimes, or maybe out on Amazon. Yeah.
They have really good reception.
Oh yeah, everybody has good reception with their cell phones out there. Not us, but yeah, they got cell phone towers everywhere. That's like got to be the biggest business. All right, so they set up and they have a little banner explaining who's going there, and have a little spiel at the beginning. Talk. Jason, talk for 1 minute or 2 minutes, and I have nothing. I'm working on that, though. I'll be prepared. So Tyler talks, Raja interprets, this guy interprets, 2 interpreters, kind of a leg going there. So you get to see some of the same guys. This is like some of Raj's core group here. You got Holy Man, you got Chris Well, I can't remember his name, but Joseph, yes, Joseph is the man here. You got squeamish tummy, yeah. Could have been more. Yeah, so they put a tarp down, everybody sits. It's, what he called this was a major medical camp. Oh, is that, well, that was, way back there. This was birthday cake right here. They got a birthday cake for the doctor. And hold this thing, and confetti goes up in the air, and then all the faces of all the tribal villages.
Their custom with birthdays is the doctor first takes a piece and feeds it to somebody of honor.
Did you hear that? It's kind of like a wedding. The doctor, it's his birthday. The tradition is he cuts the cake and then feeds it to somebody else.
And then you feed him.
Oh, okay. And you feed him. I don't know. It was awkward. But it was having a time with it. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get to, this is a lot of medicines. They picked up the trailer, that's what the trailer is, had a big pile of medical parts, medical supplies, that's the word.
At this medical camp, the doctor was showing me that, their eyes were really white, and their tongues were white. He said that was from poor nutrition. They eat the same food pretty much all the time, and they don't have a variety in these tribal villages. So they have nutritional problems, which is causing them heart problems, and so we give them a lot of supplements. Is what we give there, health vitamins and stuff like that. Last year was malaria was a big problem.
Yeah, okay, this is the one, if you don't have a light stomach, you don't want to watch this. This is Joseph checking out some guy's foot. I think the guy would lose his foot if we didn't have that there. It is quite, they're like digging stuff out and scraping, and then the doctor looks at it and
Even the doctor was like,
but, I mean, that guy said he has a heart problem too, I guess. I don't know. Any more of those? Okay, one of those guys. And he's, so yeah, I mean, he takes and he sets the tribal village guy sits there and it's like, well, what's wrong? And they have that conversation. And there's, basically this one, you had to have an interpreter to be able to talk to him. Actually, the other one too. What?
I'm already so happy.
Yeah, she did know.
Sorry. I'm trying to make good pictures.
I know.
Here's Tyler being all dignified. Here, this guy's really doing all the work. I mean, we're there. We're just there. I mean, the doctor, he knows his stuff. I don't know anything, but I don't speak his language, but you can tell he's working that day. Maybe his birthday.
The guy right next to the doctor, he's like a pharmacist.
Oh, this guy's a
The doctor
pharmacist?
would tell him what's needed to get it.
Yeah, everybody went away with like an armful of stuff, and I can't believe they would remember how to take all these different things. It's like, do this, and do this, and do this. And I guess it's important to you, you're going to remember, right? But, I mean, she's so happy, though. You got nothing, you're malnourished, but you're happy. Yeah, happy. I mean, you might just be happy that you're there to, help.
They were very appreciative.
Yeah, very appreciative. Except for her, she was grumpy. Okay, maybe that. But still, she's happy. Okay. Photo opportunity, stand there, to make it look like you're doing something.
Yeah, that's not good.
Well, the doctor does all the work. Hey, I wonder what this stuff is. I don't speak the language. Like you gotta treat the kids and the mom. These are the ladies that came with us. You saw a lot of them the day before. They were her?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like 35 or something, 3 kids. Yeah, she looks very young. Oh, and she's married, even though she's Tories fell off. Okay. We got back to our car from that first tribal village. I was exhausted. I'm like, I know we're going to 2 today, but oh man, sunburns. I did not bring a sunscreen. I don't normally get very burnt, but man, we were burned. Like white guys.
I can't hear you.
So we go to the second one. I can't, it's just nuts. But I'm glad we did, you know, because then again, we didn't have to actually do anything. But we drove there. But we shouldn't have? Oh yeah, the road was horrible. It was, I can't believe the car made it. A tribal village, although it wasn't that far off the main road this time, which is probably why. And we had all of the medical supplies and the doctor. And this time, this lady, she was good. She was a big help. The doctor would explain to her, she would explain to the tribal person. Oh yeah, and there's a, okay, so what he does in the tribal village, the first place we went to, he had never gone to before. So, and this is the place he's been to multiple times, not a lot of times, but multiple times now. They were there a couple months ago treating somebody, and now this time they got to see how the treatments worked and how the guy was doing. He was doing a lot better. So the goal is you go there and you'll establish a school. The first place you went to, they're going to drill a well for him because he's drinking out of pond water. The problem is it's illegal to drill a well for him. The government doesn't want him to do it. So they're going to do it anyway because Rogers made friends with one of the government guys who says if there's people suffering, if it's bad, do it anyway. I'll make sure you don't get in trouble. That's pretty nice. And so became a member of that party and supports that guy because that guy's a guy for the people. So what they want to do is get all these tribal people out of the rural area and bring them to the city, kind of like what they're doing in China. I'm not really sure why. But, control. Yeah, I'm sure.
So the Manitowoc Church had donated money for this other tribal village to get a well, but the government won't let them in there. So I talked to Jim Staley over there, and he talked to his people, and they're going to divert the funds from that to one of these other villages that we went to.
The first one, probably.
I think it was, and they're going to drill the well there.
Well, when we went over, we took the buckets and everything.
And they want more of those things. Those water purifier things in November when you come.
Okay.
And so this one, they'd been there before, so they had been treating them, and they established a school there. And this is the school teacher, and she was very. I didn't, don't know her very well, but she could speak English well. She has this little scrapbook of all these famous things she's done. She's a pretty well accomplished lady teaching at this tribal village. So that's pretty cool.
And I had one of the ladies that I work with had sent over a suitcase half full of clothes. And so that's what we were doing there, is giving each child an outfit. And the teacher was helping us pick what was right for everybody.
And then the funny thing is, they're like, here's your clothes, go change in the changing room, which was a roof with no walls. Go over there and change. Okay, whatever. This little kid, he's not doing good there. But, I mean, that's, so the doctor prescribed, and she explains. So then he would tell her, she would get it all really quick, and then the doctor would move on to another person, and then so she would explain it to him so that it went much faster. She was really good. I really appreciated her working. I don't even know where she's from. Never saw her. I just can't get over some of the clothes, It's like, hey, look, our clothes and these Indian kids are like loving it. So, long sleeves. Yeah, it was good times. I just couldn't get over the number of children at that place, though. There was just a pile of kids. They're prolific. Can I say that? Yes, and at the end, they came out very thankful. Got something for not doing anything. Oh, that's the teacher there. Yeah. We're wrapping this thing up here. So this is, that's the day 11. So next day, we didn't really do much. We went to the orphan's home at night, but during the day we did a little bit of shopping because Raja wasn't there. He went with Vicky to go visit another orphanage and a guy that she had been raising money for, and he was a few hours away. So he pretty much took all day doing that, left us to take rest. And when they got back, I don't know how that worked out. When they got back, we did shopping with Raja.
They didn't get back till like midnight. They were supposed to be back
When did
at
we
4
go
or
shopping?
5, but they didn't get back till like midnight.
You went the morning.
Oh, this was the morning before we left then?
Yeah.
That could be. This was the morning before we left. I love shirts, pants. They wouldn't let you go away without giving you something to wear. So this is his dream team here. Holy Man, Raja, Naidu, Aram. Man, I got them all. So. And then we got to a lot of you guys saw the video of going into the orphanage where they were doing all that stuff. It was a good party. I don't know these two guys. That's Chris Will and Sankar. Know those guys. They're fine. But there were so many people who wanted to get in the pictures. You had 2 bunches of 4s. Oh yeah, very sunburned, looking red, and somebody gave me bunny ears.
You look nice in that gold, Jason.
Thanks. This group photo, I'm not that tall, we're on a little platform in the back. But I think they're genuinely happy. It's like a family feel. You know, I know they're orphans, I know they're living at that place, but you can feel the love when you're there. You know, I know they get disciplined. I know that they get. I mean, Michelle knows they get disciplined. She had a couple of little rascals in her ladies' day. She goes to Raja. She's like, these 2 guys, they need to. And they took them out. They came back and they sat down and they were straight arrows. You know. This is where we're giving up. We're just maybe giving handshakes.
Yeah.
I just want to.
They're saying things.
I always looked them in the eye when they said thank you to you, and I looked them in and was like, you know, it's glad to be here. And, you know, you can actually just make eye contact. You can see, you know, like Tyler was saying, if you're malnourished, your eyes look kind of funny. Kids have bright eyes. They're just... Yeah, everybody goes in line. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Another group photo. Supposed to be a different group photo because I'm staying in a different place with Chris Mile.
That was actually
Here's my man, and Timothy, and Tyler and Timothy, right? These are the older boys. I did leave out one picture, I actually bring it up, but we were coming back, I think it was I don't know what day, but we stopped off at the orphanage on the way home, and Raja just grabbed up like 7 or 8 of the orphan boys of different ages, and just like, hey, you guys are coming home with me tonight. And they came home and they stayed at his place until like bedtime and just hung out with the family, and it's just what he does, you know, he just goes and it's like, hey, just picks up some orphans and brings them home with him. So, but lots of nights he stays there. There are a bunch of girls. But that is, oh yeah, Kamari's smiling. She smiles a lot, just not for the camera. But that's pretty much it. Friday we go to the airport. Last smoggy sunset. What's that? It scrolls up on me now.
Why is it smoggy?
Smoggy, there's like 2 million people in that small city. Everybody runs diesel cars and trucks. No regulations.
It doesn't rain for a couple of months.
It doesn't rain.
It's never rained when I've been there.
Yeah, it doesn't like, you know, rain clears the atmosphere, you can bring some of that down. Don't get any of that.
It's a rainy season, it doesn't dry.
Okay, I got it, Michelle. So yeah, it's,
Winter's the dry
you would look out and you're like, oh, it's foggy out because it's so humid. No, that's smog.
Pollution.
Yeah, pollution.
You can feel it.
Yeah, we're back to here. All right, just got a couple more. I got it. Yeah. Yeah, we're good. No. Last four pictures. There you go. Yeah, and so we get, I pushed the button and it went the wrong way. Why don't you give me to the one after the elephant shell, please, thank you. So we get to the airport, and one of the cool things is the guy who takes care of the place where Raja lives, he's there, and they call him the watchman. I guess that's what he does, he watches the place. And so that was pretty neat. You know, everybody's just saying their goodbyes. That's the next picture. There you go. Next one. This is the very sad flight without Shri getting in all the way, making it very exciting. It's a long way from here to here, you know, over Greenland and Russia, and man, that was a long. Next picture. We go from there to here. It was a happy day. But I did get a cold there, so I still have that. That's the last picture. You can go to the last one if you want. Yeah. I don't know what that means, but I think it's the end. So.
I missed the picture of you shopping for my dress.
I didn't do a lot of shopping.
So, yeah, we were there for, what, 2 weeks, and I guess one of the questions I got before I went there, you know, it's like, you know, pay attention to what's going on, try to tell us how we we had 67 baptisms there, like we did anything, but there were 67 baptisms while we were there. That's a lot, I think. That's pretty normal, though, isn't it? So I think it's a lot, but it's pretty normal. I think Tyler's been going for 5 years now. So if you had like 50 for 5 years, that's like 250 people. Just for your trips. But you got their trips and Brian's trips and other people's trips. And yeah,
I see there was 2 little boys there with looked like cotton in their ears. Is that because they got ear problems or what?
yeah, they were very young, and they had just recently gotten there, and they were being treated. So they were, you know, they weren't well when they were brought in, but now they're going to fix whatever problems they've got going on. Yeah. So I guess the question is, Tyler's going to answer this in really detail. What did we learn? You know, we've been there for that long. What did you learn? And I was kind of struck by, and everybody observes different things when you go different places. So what I saw was interesting because it kind of brought me back to a book I had read years ago about what Raja's actually doing there. I mean, it was weird. All week we would go to these churches, and it would be like going to, you know, this is the Church of Christ building, right? We all kind of get that. How many churches in town are not Church of Christ buildings? It would be having meetings at those buildings. And how does he do that? You know? It's because he has a relationship with those preachers that they're talking. And they invite him, it says, you guys are in town, come on over and talk to the congregation. And the congregation shows up in a really big way. And And that reminds me of something I read about the Church of Christ history. There was a time when Churches of Christ had the same thing, where the preacher here would go and they would preach at, Presbyterian church in the morning and a different church in the afternoon, and the preachers had this relationship with these other churches, and they would, just strive for the truth. Whatever that is, they would talk about it and learn about it, and it seems like that's what he's doing, I mean, his Sunday worship seemed to be kind of like ours, as far as, it is, it's different, but there was an energy at these meetings that was different from that. They were eager to hear the word. I mean, one of the places we went on a night, I got there and honestly, I was really kind of disappointed. We got there and I'm like, there's nobody here. I mean, you stand on this thing, I mean, it was a wreck of a place. The walls weren't really walls, the ceiling wasn't really a ceiling. The ceiling fan was much too close to my head, so close to don't stand up there, you will literally get your head chopped off, and because the rest are shorter so they can't stand there. So you stand in front, and it was just and it was supposed to be a group of Hindu people, and denominational people is what he called them, and it's like, all right, what am I going to talk about? So we talk, and it was one of the best nights. Because I got, Nehu, I think, was interpreting for me, and I got done, and then Raja steps in, and he delivers, I don't know what he said, but they were just so intently listening. And there were so many people that night, they're like, hey, I'm going to be baptized today. Then what happened was he took us and he rushed us back to meet up with them, because we had 2 cars that night, it was chaos. He took us back to them, and you could tell he was really urgent. He's like, I got to get back there. Because he had to get back there because he had to finish talking with those guys that night. And he was there, I don't know when he got here. It was super late, he was there for hours, just talking to the people who wanted to know. And it's hard to see that here. I think it'll be hard to see that there the more money they get. That's one of the things is, every place we went, we talked to poor people. Their churches are super poor. Holy Man's Church, we went there on Sunday. I mean, that is some of the happiest giving you'll ever do when you go to one of those churches. Roger's sitting next to me, he's like, offering's coming up. I'm like, I have no idea what this money's even worth. And he's like, doing his math on there, and I'm like, what's this? He's like, $7. I'm like, okay, what do I got? I'm like, okay, I don't plan on taking any money home. I brought my money, I'm like, all right, when I'm done here, I'm gonna distribute whatever I have left to the other preachers. But, when he realized, and I was asking him, well, how much money does this church bring in under contributions on a Sunday? $20. $20 American. At the most. I mean, that's actually pretty good, I guess. But,
those ladies that put around your neck, I went, well, how much do those cost? So I checked the price on them, $2.40.
that's what they make in the field that day.
That's the average laborer's day's work.
Yeah.
This is
No.
not an 8-hour day, this is sun up, sundown, 12, back-breaking work day. And
Right.
they're honored to give you their day's wages, basically.
And those women are out there and they're working that hard all day long because their bum of a husband doesn't bring in the money home. And they're working there for that much. And that's what they're feeding their family on that week,
The Mason working on the orphanage made $10.
Right, the Mason, okay. I was told if you're a guy who's really skilled running a backhoe or doing, skilled construction labor, you might make up to $12 or $15 an hour, depending on where you are to the city, a day. $12 or $15 a day. Yeah, it's out per hour. So he's making maybe $50 a week. And that's a really good wage.
But they're putting these ladies on your neck.
Yeah, and they're giving this, they're honoring us when we don't need it, but they have to. That's their culture. They're so happy that we're there to share this with them. And we came all this way, and yeah, they'd absolutely be offended if we didn't. They're like, no, don't, so you have to sit in front or they'd be offended. But, just think about, the preacher there at that church, the church might get $15, $20 a week. What's he going to survive on? It's not that he's not working. The guys, what I was struck by is how far these guys were willing to go. I mean, when he said he's going to the end of the earth, he's going to the end of the earth all the time. How many churches did Raja actually start over there? Like 30?
2 years ago it was 30.
Yeah, a couple years ago it was 30. So, I mean, and not that he's starting them, but he goes to these places the other people aren't willing to go. I mean, Hindu villages, all these places out in the middle of nowhere, and says, you hear about Jesus? And before he does that, he helps them with medicine, he gets their, gives them an education, loves them and helps their just well-being, like, Jesus fed people. It's like, hey, you guys need some food, So he helps them, and then he shares the gospel with them, and they just can't help but listen. And so all these other little church preachers, they're out there giving it all they got, and they got nothing. I mean, I asked Timothy, Raja's son, and it was weird how they came about. Kind of like, what are your prized possessions? What do you got? And everything that was really important to him, he brought out in his hands. I mean, when his grandmother died, she had this little clutch bag. And he got that. He's like, man, they were just, I'm like, I really like that. And it's not worth anything, but it's got sentimental value. He found this rock in the dirt out behind his house one time. He's like, man, this is a really cool rock. You see this? It was nothing special. I mean, it probably wasn't helpful when I told him what it actually was. But it was a piece of deburring stuff for industrial equipment. It wasn't anything. But to him, it was special. Those were his prized possessions. He had like 2 pieces of rock like that, and that was it. And he's happy. And I think as these areas, they get more industrialized, they get more money coming in, I'm afraid they become more like us. That would be really sad. That's why, they're really serious about their education. These kids, they go to school 6 days a week. Little kids have these huge backpacks. And Timothy's like, what's cool about those things is you don't get hunched over when you get old. You got a real straight back because they're always pulling back on you like that. So, look on the bright side, right? But the reason that he told me, I didn't make this up. He said the reason that they're so into their education is so that they can leave. They want to come here, where life is easy. I mean, that's the big goal. If you are the best in the class of 1,000 people, you might get to come to the United States and live here.
If you could get the visa.
Yeah, not everybody does, but they have this dream that, and their dream is, I'm going to work really, really hard so I can leave this place. And that was one of the messages I gave one of the places, and they didn't get it, but they got it after it ended. But the whole thing where Jesus says, to the poor people, right now you are blessed because you're really close to the kingdom. They don't understand how close how wonderful it is to not have anything. Because they've got nothing. And we've got so much. We can go out to eat. It costs $50 to go out to eat. That whole family lives on $50 for the entire week. The family of 4. And that's a good wage. I mean, mom's taking home, $250 a day for 6 or 7 days a week, and that's what they're living on? We could lose $2.50 and not feel it. We lose $50. We're like, if all we did is just have peanut butter and jelly for lunch instead of going out, we said, I'm going to do that today, I'm going to give that to that family, well, it wouldn't feel like a sacrifice one bit, would it? But they'd love it if we did something like that. So, I don't know. I mean, it kind of makes you think about what you do and, why we're here, when we are here. I mean, what are we supposed to do with what God gave us? Why are we living in the United States where we don't realize, I've got my closet, it's got 25 pairs of shoes in it. I buy another one, they're $50 or 100 or whatever. Do I need it? These guys got nothing. You see them wear the same thing every day. Because they only got 2 shirts. Or the ladies, they wear the same fancy dress every day. The only fancy dress they got. And they only rarely go out to fancy things once a week, so it's all right. But makes you think, what God would want us to do with what He's given us.
when we talked about this, you and I before, you said that they've only got a limited number of orphans you can adopt. Maybe go into that a little. You said that they've only got so much room.
Oh, you're talking how many orphans they can bring into the orphanage? Well, he would have to, well, he's not using the entire orphanage yet. So, but they are limited by the amount of money they have to support the orphans. So, you know, as a responsible person running the orphanage, you don't want to have money to support or have 50 orphans, but really have 150 orphans. That would be bad. You want to, you know, not starve the kids and all that stuff. So he brings in orphans when he can't afford it for sure. You give him money and it goes sometimes to an orphan instead of to his own family.
A lot of times I'll have the opportunity to say, you know, what do you do and different things, and I said, well, we were planning on going back to India in November, and we will help support an orphanage, and then it comes to talking, and I say, well, for $35 a month, you can support a child for medical and school and clothing and shelter and food. And then I'll look at them and say, when is the last time you filled up your gas tank for a whole month for $35?
I mean, gas tank, whatever. I mean, $35 does not go very far in this country.
No, and people go,
But you're going to feed and give an education and a house and a loving family
and
to an orphan.
everything that they need, yeah.
And they're going to hear about Jesus for sure. I mean, they got church right at their building there. I mean, church on Sundays, like, hey, let's an orphan church, you know?
And the other thing that limits how many you can help is the government, because they have strict guidelines on how much staff he's supposed to have for X number of children. And you couldn't pay the wages of all the people.
Now, his government guy that he's friends with helps him not get in trouble. You know, he's a legit orphanage. I mean, they've got records, they've got all these things. He gets, you know, people know where they're at. They've got a great reputation in the community. If you want to know where they're at, you just talk to somebody, hey, I'm over there. And he's got a great rapport, and he does good work. He's known for doing good work, you know, helping the kids, helping the community.
When I was at the hotel on the first trip, a guy came up to me and said, are you working with that orphanage? And they knew of the quality of Raja and Kumari in that city of what, 2 million? And he knew of the orphanage, he knew of the good. It's really impressive.
Yeah, you just can't help but just sit there and you're like, how? I mean, if you see the orphanage, it's very, I mean, you remember, I've seen pictures when the thing was nothing, you know, and people help, and he wants to expand the orphanage and have more room so you can have more staff and have more orphans. There's more orphans to be helped, for sure. But right now, he's getting to where he can't really have more there, although he is, you know, wanting to help expand the preacher school, which helps, you know, it's like you got preacher school, you got orphans, you got all these churches, and you got all this stuff going on all the time. And it's pretty humbling to watch that.
So the preacher school, as you've mentioned a few times, it's not, they're not all Church of Christ preachers. They're preachers that just want to come and learn more of how to study God's Word and everything. But a lot of them, once they come there, they'll go back and convert their whole congregation.
Yeah, what you mean? Yeah, he converts the preacher guy from the church, and the guy comes and says, "Hey, we've been misunderstanding these verses this way." I mean, it's kind of this Acts 8, was it 18? You know, kind of thing where they know their Bible, but they're missing some pieces. You know, so they get explained things more accurately. They take that back, and now you got more and more churches that are more accurately speaking the Bible, the gospel. So, Tyler's got some words to say. He's going to tell you all those things he learned.
Well, yeah, one of the things we learned is Roger's driving techniques. We were talking about making a video game based on Grand Theft Auto. driving with Raja and picking up Christian and getting points for that, you know, and stuff like that. It was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, you want to get up to the meeting on time, you know, and you got all these obstacles in the way.
Speed bumps everywhere, snakes.
Speed breakers, he calls them. They've got cops.
They're pretty popular. All right, I want to talk about Pesto.
Yeah.
Okay, this, yeah, it's one orphan, $35 a month. It's nothing. I think, you know, we need to think about, you know, how we're spending our own money. You know, we waste a lot of money here. They don't waste money over there. They can make a dollar go a long way there. Bibles, $3 a piece. Everybody needs a Bible over there. I just got a check last month from a new congregation that wanted to get involved, Mission Viejo from California. They sent us $300 for Bibles last month. That'll go quick though. Medical camps cost about $700 a piece. It's mostly for medicine and for renting the doctor. Wells cost, I think this has gone up in price. It's about $1,200 to get a well in one of these tribal villages. Sponsoring a preacher. We're sponsoring Raja, of course. We're sending him $300 a month. Bondin is another one I'd like to get a sponsor for because he's doing so much and he's kind of following Raja's footsteps.
Rhonda does a lot of the follow-up work after we leave. He'll go back and visit all these places that you went
Yeah.
and keep working with people. He's really good at follow-up.
He lives in Hyderabad, which is
13-hour bus ride.
13-hour bus
Yeah,
ride.
multiple times. He rode the bus all night,
Yeah.
and he was there right in the morning when we got up. I'm like, oh, there's Bondin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easy. What that does.
That's not a good bus either. That's the non-air conditioned.
Not a good way to be traveling. Hyderabad's got like 10 million people. So if you're thinking about sponsoring a preacher, Bondin's one I highly recommend. There are other guys there that needs to use sponsors.
Well, they would be recommended by Roger.
Yeah.
It's like, I know some people that they're really great guys. It'd be nice to help them somehow, something, you know, if it's anything that we can do here, $10 a week, $20 a week,
Yeah.
$30 a week. I mean, that's huge for
Yes.
those guys.
Yeah. So that's something to think about.
How big mix is that?
Well, and also when they're at the preaching school, they're there and they're not at their job. They're not by their families. And it's a year commitment, isn't it?
Yeah. When we talked to the preaching students there, I asked them, you know, how many had secular jobs, most of them did. And I told them that they're probably going to have to keep them. You're going to have to work 2 jobs, basically. But and if you can get a sponsor, that's great. Don't count on it, though. It's probably not going to happen. But they really want to be preachers, and they want to spread the gospel. They're very gung-ho about that. So we got to encourage them however we can.
It's really hard when you have a full-time job. Our full-time jobs are hard. Theirs are really hard. I mean, you're going to go,
Physically and
and
transportation
it's
and
always 6 days a week. It's not 5 days a week.
they get work there. A lot of them work 7 days a week. So the School of Preaching over there, the number I got from Raja said it costs about $1,400 a month to house and feed and get materials for the preacher, pay the teachers. They got like 5 teachers that work there. So $1,400 a month isn't bad for teaching, 15 preachers. And they go through the school, it's a full year, like August to August, and they had their first class graduate last August. And it's filling a need there. They need more preachers. There's a lot of guys that are very anxious to get out there and preach, but they don't have the knowledge that they need.
Some of those denominational preachers that come in there are not getting any education from their denomination. So
Right.
they're hungry to find out what the Bible actually says. And it's a real inroad the project makes doing that.
Yeah, the first time I went to India, I was kind of shocked. I'd heard stories about this, entire congregations, denominations flipping over to Church of Christ. And I saw it actually happen there. They were all happy about it happening. They said, all we want, is a sign over our door to the Church of Christ on it. And it happens quite often. And Raja's part of that. Teaching these people. Another need that they have over there is, it seems like we just got them this vehicle, but it's been like 4 or 5 years, I guess, that they've had that. It's going to need to be replaced. The roads there are terrible. And Raja is running that car a lot, so that's another thing. Cars seem to be as expensive, if not more expensive over there than they are here.
Well, I asked them, how many cars are there in all the congregations you service? 1. That's the car.
Yeah,
The rest of it is on these little scooters that do what, 35 miles an hour?
yeah. Yeah, we pass them.
And they are dangerous to be on.
Yeah.
So it's an important vehicle. I mean, it's not just Raja's personal car. That thing always has people in it, and it's always going somewhere.
They're carrying supplies in it.
Supplies to the orphanage. I mean, it's a very worthwhile investment.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's super smart then. We were going someplace, there's some place that sells produce. So he got farm fresh produce at a really good price and just filled up the back of the van with all this food that he's going to drop off at the orphanage on the way home. I mean, he makes every dollar go as far and to get the best quality he can for the orphans. It's impressive. I mean, I don't know where I was, of course, but he does.
So, check out those papers that we handed out. If you can help out with that, the way you do that is you can send money here to Stevens Point Church of Christ. Usually every month they send out MoneyGram to Raja. You can only send $2,500 at a time, so it costs like $16 for each transaction.
And the government's cracking down on some of that.
Yeah, I've been banned on Western Union and MoneyGram now, so Michelle's actually sending it, so, because I've been blacklisted, because because I used the church debit card. And you see that, India government doesn't want Christian churches helping out over there. So we have to be more covert when we do this.
The Indian government is anti-Christian. The previous governments were pro-Hindu, but not anti-Christian. This one is very anti-Christian. So they are very persecuted because of it. And the reason that we kind of act as the hub is Raja can only receive so many wires a year. And then even with us moving all of this money, we have to send to alternate people at different times of the year because he's at his maximum, and then the government starts to look into things more. So he tries to stay under their radar where he can on that. But that's the only reason. Otherwise, anybody would be able to send.
I mean, if you go over there, you could take a money belt and just give them $100 bills. You are more than welcome to go. He says what it would be perfect for him is if between October, I think, and March, if a group of people came over for 2 weeks every month and then left for 2 weeks, where he could just do maintenance and do follow-up work, and then every month a new group came, they'd be like, that's the best thing ever. I mean, he would be so busy and just loving all of because the bigger group, Americans grow up bigger groups. That's really the only reason why we're there. They don't need us. They're really great preachers. But they use us, we encourage them, they encourage us. We draw a bigger group, so more people are reached with the gospel. What else do you want?
one day I asked Roger, I said, Roger, what am I even doing here? I can see you're a dynamic preacher, you're telling them more, way better than I'm doing. And he looked at me and he said, you draw twice the crowd. So I was explaining that to one of my kids. He said, oh, you're a show pony. I mean, why not be used? I mean, all you have to do there is go and show up. You don't even have to be that good.
But they do require you to do something. I mean, you are going to be expected to, hey, you know what, tonight, we're leaving at 7:30. You got to be ready. I mean, basically, we're leaving now. You grab your bag, we're going. And you got to be ready for that. So you get, so you know how long you have to prepare your lesson. And, and most of the time, it's so weird. It's like, I know I'm going to be ready because this is when I have to leave. And I don't even know what I'm talking on yet.
Most of the time, you're in this car, going down these crummy roads, and I looked at the mileage, one trip I was on, it was like 2,000 miles for travel. So you're going on a tourist visa, and we're really tourists, we're traveling all over the place. We're stopping and seeing friends every once in a while. Most of your time is in that car.
Yeah.
And maybe take car sickness pills. I sat in the back at the wrong time once.
It was bad. So you gotta be able to sit.
Oh yeah, you go there and I'm like, I've never done so little actual movement in my entire life. I mean, you go to this place, you do your thing, you go back to it's like, and you go back to your room, you work on lessons, and then you get up and you go and you eat, and then you go back and you talk another gospel meeting, and then you go to bed, and you do the same thing every day. It's like I need to do some exercise, and there's just no time.
Well, what Ron did is he walked around town.
Walked around town, they will not let you walk around town.
No, he walked, that's what he did. He walked around he had a regular loop, he went around and grocery store.
I know, I'm just saying that they're very scared that you're going to get picked up or something.
Yeah.
Or in trouble like Timothy got.
Well, and you're never a supervisor.
You're always supervised. But seriously, if anybody wants to go, go.
There's a
You're,
group
you're,
going in
you're,
November.
you're invited. Yep.
There's a group going in November, they'll either,
Looking for more people to go with us.
Okay, well, we're gonna have our special contribution in May again. We'll do this every May, hopefully. That really helped the orphans. We did that last year. We collected $2,700 and spread it out over 12 months. So instead of our usual $80, which